Okay, let's dive right into this. You know, most of us are handed a very specific script for life pretty early on. It goes something like this: study hard, get a good job, save up, and build your future. And yeah, it's a path that promises security. But here's the thing. What if the real price of that security is the best, most vibrant years of your life?
Wow, that quote really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? It plants this little seed of doubt. Like, hold on a second. Have we all been chasing the wrong thing this whole time?
Because we're basically conditioned to believe our number one goal is to build capital. From that very first job, it's like we're thrown into this race. A race against time, a race against our peers, all in the name of financial security.
And this timeline here, it really shows how those years between 20 and 40 can feel like just an exhausting marathon. At 20, the race is on. By 25, you're in the thick of some intense competition. At 30, the pressure is just constant. And by 40, the focus is almost entirely on saving. We're told this is how you win. This is how you build capital. But the real story is, well, a little more complicated than that.
Because here's the catch. Money is a pretty volatile asset, and its actual effect on our long-term happiness, it's surprisingly short-lived, which really begs the question, are we ignoring other, way more valuable forms of capital?
So, if money isn't the ultimate goal, what is? Well, there's a whole other portfolio of assets out there, the kind most people only start to appreciate when it's maybe a little too late. These are the assets that really define a truly rich life.
I want you to think of these four things as your real-life portfolio. Unlike the stock market, their value doesn't just fluctuate with the economy. Nope, it only grows. And trust me, it offers a much, much higher return on happiness than money ever could.
First up, your health. And this isn't just about not getting sick. A strong, healthy body is a serious investment that pays you dividends every single day. You can start so small too, with a simple morning routine, like just 10 minutes of stretching when you wake up. That small deposit gives you the energy to go after your dreams, the confidence to just be yourself, and the freedom to really enjoy the world.
Next, real experiences. See, unlike a new car, the value of your memories never goes down. And you don't need a ton of cash for this. Think about some low-cost hobbies. Hiking a local trail, learning an instrument from videos online, a picnic in the park. These simple, beautiful moments become priceless assets that you get to draw on for the rest of your life. Their worth never rusts, never fades.
And then you have the people in our lives. Now, this is an asset you have to actively manage. Your weekly to-do list probably says something like, finish that report, but does it also say, call that friend I haven't spoken to in a month? The most valuable relationships, they're built on that kind of real, genuine connection, not on what somebody can do for you.
You know, just like our bodies need food, our hearts need nourishment. And this spiritual peace, this feeling of calm, of purpose, of being connected to something bigger, it gives you a deep kind of tranquility that no amount of wealth can ever buy. So many people find out way too late that the path to peace wasn't sitting in a bank account, but it was inside them all along.
Now, this brings us to a super important concept. It's what makes investing in these assets so urgent. It's an economic principle, but it applies perfectly to life. It's called the law of diminishing pleasure.
This slide just nails it. The incredible joy you can get from a simple backpacking trip when you're 25, you just can't replicate that. Not even with the most luxurious, million-dollar experience when you're 70. And why is that? Well, because our capacity to enjoy certain things, it kind of has an expiration date.
And this says it all, right? You can't just save up an experience for later. That window for that specific adventure, with that exact level of energy and wonder, it closes. Time does not offer rain checks on youth.
So what do we do with all this information? How do we avoid falling into that trap? It really just comes down to adopting a much simpler and honestly a smarter rule for how we live our lives.
This right here is the big mistake. We've got the whole equation backward. Money is absolutely a vital tool. I mean, it provides stability, healthcare, security, but we confuse the tool with the goal. Money is meant to serve a better life, not be the life.
So this is the smarter investment strategy. And on a practical level, what if your weekly checklist looked something like this? 3 workouts for your body, 1 deep conversation for your relationships, 1 new small adventure for your experiences, and 5 minutes of quiet reflection each day for your heart. Now that's how you diversify your life's portfolio.
And just think of it like this. These 4 assets, health, relationships, experiences, and peace, they're the only ones whose value truly compounds over time. While money can be lost and material things fade away,
This kind of wealth only grows, and it becomes your greatest treasure as you get older.
So, we'll leave you with this one last thought to reflect on. Knowing what you know now, if you could go all the way back to the starting line at age 20, what would your investment strategy be? Would you focus on filling your wallet or on filling your life?